Mr. Sam Bregman. And I'd love for Sam to come up here now, along with all of the leaders and law enforcement in our community who are here today. And now we will begin.
There's a few shy people in the room. Hey, Holly. How you doing, pal? It's good to see you. These are all my waters. Don't mess with them. Thank you. I want to thank everybody for making themselves available and coming in today. I thought this was the best way to handle, obviously, the questions that many of the media may have of me, since I've had a very nice, long transition period. But nonetheless, I wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to visit with everybody, and obviously the community as well. First of all, let me say that I have been given one of the greatest honors by the governor to be able to come back to the district attorney's office as the district attorney of Bernalillo County. It is clearly an honor, and I'm very grateful to the governor and thank her again for that opportunity. And I want to say right off the bat, because I've been here years ago, but I know because I've been in the courtroom a lot. This office has great prosecutors. I want everybody to know that right off the bat. This office has great prosecutors. I know that not just the prosecutors in this office, but the entire staff of this district attorney's office here in Bernalillo County cares deeply about this community and the well-being of this community. The caring about the community is why I'm doing this job. I think people who know of me know that I've had a fairly successful career in the practice of law, and my law practice has been fairly successful, but I have lived here my entire adult life. I have raised a family here in Albuquerque, and I took this job because I love Albuquerque. So I want everybody to know, turn off your phones, that today we all know that Albuquerque and Bernalillo County has a crime problem. But I decided it's time for me not to sit back and watch, but to actually try and help. And that's why I'm doing this. I am so grateful to the people that are here today. The mayor, everybody from APD, BCSO, state police, our federal partners, the U.S. Attorney. It means so much because I want the community to know how unified this community of law enforcement officials are in fighting crime. The people of Albuquerque should know that everybody here in this room is committed on a daily basis, every single day, to fighting crime. I think when you look at the folks in this room, I feel like I'm walking onto one hell of a team, and I mean that wholeheartedly. I've known many of these folks for a long time. They care about this community, and they want to see this community live up to its great potential as I do. I have a couple of messages and then a couple of comments, I'm sure, from some of these fantastic folks up here, but I do have a message to the prosecutors in this office. I've already shared this morning with many of them. But I know, because I've used to do it, but I know, especially in today's times, how darn tough this job is to be a prosecutor in Albuquerque. And I will do everything I possibly can to support the prosecutors and the staff in this office, because I know how much you care for this community, and I know how much you want to make a difference in making this a safer community and doing justice every single day. I just tell everybody in this office, I got your back. I do. I have a message for the cops and the deputies and those in law enforcement in this community that carry a badge every single day. I know you have the single hardest job in Albuquerque, in Bernalillo County. I understand that. And so I am, as well as the whole community, want you all to know how supportive we are for what you do every single day. And I just want to start off my tenure as the district attorney by saying to every law enforcement official, thank you. Thank you for what you do. So finally, I want to say something to the people of Bernalillo County and what a great honor it is to have this huge responsibility and privilege to represent you in the district attorney's office. We all know, I know, and I think the folks right here, standing here, and everybody in this room knows that the people of Bernalillo County and Albuquerque are sick and tired of this crime problem. Some people are scared, and it doesn't have to be that way. I want everybody to know that I will be, together with the people here and many others, relentless in my pursuit of justice. Every single day that I hold this office, there's 700 and some days, I guess, my biggest priority will be to get up in the morning and work for this community to do justice and make Albuquerque as safe as it possibly can be. I, again, will say that I've invited all of these folks here, all these dignitaries who care very deeply as well about this community and fight crime on a daily basis. I invited them all here, and I'm so thankful for so many of you that came here, except for this guy. But I am, and I mean that. I mean that to all of you. I know you're on the front lines of fighting this, and you do one hell of a job, and it's not easy, and I respect that. I can't wait to work with all of you on doing whatever this office can do to make this a safer place. So with that said, I'll introduce, where's the mayor? Oh, you're right there, Mayor. Mayor, I'll introduce you just for a couple of thoughts. And, sure. And then I'm going to answer questions after this for anybody. Go ahead. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much. Well, I think just for those of us who are here, first and foremost, congratulations to our new district attorney. Let's give Sam a round of applause. And true to what he said, what a one Albuquerque showing in many ways. We know it's Bernalillo County in the metro area, but it's wonderful to see all our partners in law enforcement. We also want to thank our outgoing DA, and we're grateful he's our AG just right across the street. So I think you and I stood here together probably about 5 years ago talking about crime in our town. And now we're doing it together with our federal partners as well as our new sheriff. And so wonderful to have folks joining at every level. So I just want to share, I think, a couple of things. First off, we're very optimistic about this appointment, and it's because of the work Sam has done with APD. He's been part of our team both on reform, but also on some crime matters. And also, you know, he was a city councilor, and so for us, we know he understands city government and so forth. And you know, he was actually my city councilor, not to point out the age differences between us, but I was his intern when I was in high school. He let me shadow him for like a day when I was a senior. So
only one day, though.
Yeah, so people might blame you for me. I don't know how that works. Yeah, it only lasted a day. No, anyway, so we're very optimistic about Sam, and I think what we've done to first last year with the Metro Crime Initiative with all of these entities, and then this year is, look, we are very focused also on the warrant challenge facing our city. I've mentioned this before, but when you've got like 10,000 people arrested and then only 5,000 we're able to prosecute and only 3,000 that can go through this criminal justice system, we need help at every step of the way. And we believe the fastest, shortest way to fight crime and make Albuquerque safer is to actually serve every outstanding warrant for a felon that is out there. And right now there are thousands. That's why we're so grateful also to every one of these individuals, because we're going to go up to Santa Fe together. This unity that you see is what our city needs to also say that we have to be able to fund and have the resources to actually make sure all of those warrants are served and those dangerous individuals are taken off the street. and that they're eventually processed through the criminal justice system and hopefully come out better on the other side. That is what we're going to do together. So we have a number of other aspects that we've already talked about with respect to how we're dealing with APD to build on the successes of the past, but really ramp them up when it comes to this warrant challenge. So we're very grateful that Sam understands that, I should say District Attorney Bregman, and we're excited to have a partner going forward for this way to not only, as he said, keep our city safer, but I think there's also a sense, look, the tide is turning, and I know the prosecutors know this too. We're in a very different place than 4 or 5 years ago, and that's a good thing. But now it's time to deliver. And so we're here to tell you we are going to start delivering for safer streets in Albuquerque with the help of our new district attorney. Thanks so much and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Chief, did you, let me hold off 1 second. Let me introduce somebody who doesn't need any introduction, the Attorney General for the state of New Mexico, the person who stole all the pens and pads out of the office before he left. No, but a good friend of mine who obviously I'll be leaning on whenever I can for his good counsel and wisdom on how to do the job that he's had for so many years. So with that, Raul Torres.
So first, I want to congratulate District Attorney Bregman. This is an extraordinary job. It's an extraordinary role, and it was a real privilege of mine to be able to serve as the chief prosecutor in this county. I also want to committed professionals that come into this building every single day. There are prosecutors, investigators, victim advocates who work tirelessly. Oftentimes with little or no recognition, and the same goes for the men and women in uniform in this community. But one thing I think we should all recognize is that with as much experience and energy that I know the new district attorney is going to bring to the challenges of crime and public safety in this community, we can't get there alone. We can't get there without community support. And so I think the challenge for all of us is to really dig in and start recognizing what kind of resources we're going to need, what kind of institutional reform is required. And if we do that, I think we can really start to turn the tide in this community. My personal commitment and pledge to the new district attorney is to provide every available resource of the Attorney General's office and of my staff to smooth the transition just as quickly as we possibly can, to make sure that he and his team are not only ready for the challenges of the upcoming legislative session, but also are prepared to handle the complex public policy issues that are impacting our criminal justice system. And one thing I will say about Sam on a personal level is that I have never doubted his love for this community, his commitment to this community, and that kind of relentless pursuit and support is what we need right now. We need somebody who shares our collective passion for what this community is capable of being. I know he has that. I know he'll support law enforcement and the prosecutors in this office, and we are all going to do everything in our power to lift him up and make him as successful as possible, because all of our futures are connected to his success and the success of this office. And so I urge everyone to be as supportive as you can and lend a hand to the new district attorney and his team as they go through this transition. Thank you.
Thank you. The U.S. Attorney, Alex Ubaez.
Good afternoon. My name is Alex Ubaez. I'm the United States Attorney here in the District of New Mexico. I want to first of all offer my congratulations to the new District Attorney, my congratulations to the outgoing District Attorney and new Attorney General. This truly is a great team. I've been very lucky to be a member of the law enforcement group in this city for over a decade. I started my career as a district attorney. I worked in this office and bled in this office. I did trials in metro and district courts as a crimes against children attorney, and I care very deeply for the folks in this office, the very dedicated prosecutors and public servants who work here day in and day out to do this job. Over the past several years, and large thanks to the Attorney General, we have established a very close and working relationship with the state and local law enforcement and prosecution entities. We work day by day and case by case with this office and prosecutors in this office, with law enforcement, Albuquerque Police, to make this city and this county safer. And so that's our commitment going forward, is to be there, to be partners, to stand side by side with these folks and the folks in this office to make this place safer. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. I know Chief Padini, you want to give everybody an option, but those who want to say no, feel free to.
Just, I want to start with saying thanks to Raul for his partnerships and his friendships over the past several years. In 2017, I returned to the Albuquerque Police Department, and I remember the tutorial as he walked me through the building and showed me all the broken cases, which led to a SHIELD unit, and the talks about investigations and how we could get better. And when I became chief, we developed a detective academy. So there's a lot of great success, and like the mayor said, we're moving in the right direction. I have no doubt about it. We're getting more warrants approved for homicide than ever before. So thank you, Raul, for your friendship. And Sam, anything that goes wrong over the next 6 months, it's okay to blame Raul. Perfect. I just want to start also by congratulating Sam. I look forward to us working together. We know that we have two basic functions we want to carry out the next year, and I think Kyle and the new DA spoke already earlier. We want to move APD resources into the DA's office, have a good, strong, true partnership, and we want to work and do our best to ensure that we build the strongest cases from the very beginning. And we know that we want to pick up individuals with warrants. We know that our officers are out there every day, and when they arrest somebody on a new charge, vast majority of the time that person already had a warrant out for their arrest. So we look forward to working together. We look forward to a great partnership and continuing what we've already started to develop and even improving it a little bit and bringing in a new, fresh perspective and new ideas on how we could make this city safe. Because above all, everybody up here is talking about one thing, is that this is our city and that we need to continue to make this safe for our families who walk and work in these streets day in and day out. Thanks.
Thank you. Let me just a couple of words about the new sheriff. He's a badass. I think the world of him. I'm so excited to see him sheriff. I think he's going to do a fantastic job, and I'm really excited about working with him. I know he'll be great. Sheriff.
Thank you so much for the kind words, and congratulations to our new district attorney, Sam Bregman. The key is, as you see up here, we all have the proclivity to make this a better community. Teamwork. This is our county. No longer can we allow criminals to victimize their families where we don't feel safe. Unification, being a unified, strong front. Collaboration, what we all talk about, whether it's with our federal partners, local partners, state police partners, the AG's office. We're all in this together. We all love this community. We are all a part of this community. We see the problems, but together we know, bottom line, we can have something solved and have a solution. Without the teamwork, we would fail. So we will support each other. Again, I'll talk about the district attorney prosecutors. We've worked with them for many years. Thank you for all that you do. It is a very difficult job, and we want to make sure that we also hand you the cases and make sure that we have the professional and make sure we have good investigations to make sure that these cases are seen through adjudication, and also for the warrants that are outstanding in Bernalillo County to make our streets safer and to make sure that everybody can live in a safer community and not worry about seeing a crime as they just walk down the street on too much of a consistent basis. But thank you so much for having us here, and look forward to working with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. What's that?
You got me all excited. First of all, congratulations, Tocayo. Congratulations, Sam.
Thank you.
I'm Raul Bohan, the special in charge for the FBI office. This is going to be my second year, and to hear this again right now from our new DA, it's inspiring. I don't know if you guys are motivated, but I'm motivated. And I'm super motivated that we're going to do the right thing for this community throughout the state of New Mexico. And we're going to do it the only way that's been said over and over. We do it together. We do it jointly. And I'm inspired. So from the FBI office, you have our support 100%. I know I speak also with Alex, that you will get everything that we possibly can. I will do our part to make sure these criminals stay where they need to stay off of our streets, and make sure that our communities are safe. Because our communities are your communities. We want to make sure our children are safe, most importantly. So thank you.
Thank you. The U.S. Marshal?
Sonia Chavez, U.S. Marshal for the District of New Mexico, and I'm happy to congratulate our new district attorney and to say to him, welcome back to Team America. It's been a while since he's been on the other side of the table, and those of us who sit in the courtroom, in the Marshal Service, and previously in my time at the Bureau, we're just very happy that he's bringing his passion and tenacity back to the other side of the table. So we look forward to working with you. The mayor mentioned the warrant challenge, and I will tell you from the U.S. Marshal Service, we are up to that challenge. That is our area of expertise. We're proud of the work we do in conjunction with every single agency up here. We continue to locate and apprehend our state's most violent partners in partnership with everyone you see here. So, Mr. District Attorney, we're committed to continuing to support you, your office, the APD, Bernalillo County Sheriff, and our new sheriff in apprehending some of those violent felons. So, welcome back, and I hope you have your cape ready. Seriously.
All right. Anybody else done this? Okay. I don't think he wants to say anything nice. He can't say anything nice about me, so he doesn't want to say anything at all.
Look out.
That'll create 75 more questions if I don't. But on behalf of the state police and those we serve across this state, it's not just Bernalillo County as it pertains to us. I think the rubber meets the road in Albuquerque in the DA's office here, in law enforcement and crime. It goes everywhere else after that. So being strong here is super important. I don't know if he needs a psychology test or congratulations on taking this gig. It'll, like the marshal said, it'll be good for him to be on the good side. You know, many years of battling him when he's on the other side of the table. I'm excited that he's on our side now, and I know that we talk about tenacity. I believe his work ethic will be needed for the excellent folks that are, you know, not in camera, the ones that are doing all the work, and upstairs and around this building. I hope he is awesome for them, because when Albuquerque goes, the rest of the state goes, both positive and negative. So I wish him luck. Anything the state police can do for his success, we definitely will be there, and we look forward to the partnership.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. Okay, I don't want to keep everybody here too long, so, and if any of you, when I start getting drilled with questions, want to kind of exit, you know, no, I'm just kidding. I'm open up to any questions that anybody might have. Is there any, yes?
Yeah, this has come up today, but you have litigated some lawsuits against several agencies,
Sure.
including several that are here now.
Sure.
Does that create any possibility of conflict or?
Well, I could tell you by looking at this picture, it doesn't, right? All these people up here are total professionals, and they understand the civil justice system and the criminal justice system as well as anybody. And I think, quite frankly, I've represented people that have needed help in one way or another. And I've been very proud of the efforts that I do. I come with a certain passion to any job I have. This may be the biggest job I've had yet when it comes to importance, because I know what's at stake here when it comes to this community. But I have, there's no conflict, and they're to the contrary. Obviously, I am no longer practicing law in private practice. That is forbidden, and I'm not doing it. My office is in process of doing substitution of counsel. My wife's enjoying getting into all these cases. Now, it's a very few amount. I just about completely wrapped up. So there is no conflict there. I will tell you that knowing so many of the folks up here like I know them, I can't wait. Can't wait to start working with all of them. So I don't believe there's any problem there. Anybody else? Yes.
Hi, I'm Annalisa with KRQE.
Yes.
We know people in this office were advocating for an internal appointment, so do you feel like you have support of the staff?
You know, I've met with some of the staff. I've met with, actually, they all had, the lawyers. Let's talk about the lawyers first.
Sure.
The lawyers all had to come in and get sworn in, because when a new DA comes in, they're now operating under a new DA. I got a chance to visit with them, and I gave them the same message I just told you, and that is that I know what they do, and I can't wait to work with them. And I know that some of them that were actually, they sent a letter to the governor, and they actually had, a couple of them are here. Josh Boone is here. They're great lawyers, And while they may be disappointed, after my conversations with them, they are more emphatic about this community and doing good things. I think we're going to be great. I have no problem. Now, of course, when there's a new DA, there's the unknown, and so some lawyers may be a little bit concerned about the unknown. But I've told them, and I'll say it again, I've got their back. I'm going to do everything I can to support them. So I don't think that's a problem. Yes.
And what do you say to a couple of violent crime victims' families who have already been voicing concerns since the announcement yesterday about maybe your willingness to work with them and support them since you have spent so much time on the other side of the table?
I would tell them to obviously give me an opportunity, but more importantly, I would tell them to look at my history. When I was a prosecutor, I was also a city councilor at the time. And one of the things I learned very quickly because of the type of cases I was handling was that victims of sexual assault, for example, were waiting in emergency rooms for hours to get care because there was nobody that could take care of them right away. I went on to create the Sexual Assault Nurse and Examiners program. I was just recognized a few years ago as the founding father, if you will, of SANE. It's a great program. I've stood up for victims all my life. I've passed a hate crimes ordinance, for example, at the City Council, the first bill ever in the state of New Mexico. But even more important than that, I've helped people that have been hurt to no fault of their own. I've done my whole life doing that. I'm as proud as can be of the work I've done, standing up for people that were hurt that should never have been hurt, standing up for victims of crime, and I will continue to do that. And I look forward to helping them through obvious tragedies that they're going through, but to bring them justice, as much justice as can be brought through our process. I can't wait to do that.
Can you give us a peek behind the curtain a little bit? You were on the initial name of applicants. They asked for an extension. The governor announces you as the next DA. She's
smart decision.
Out of town. but in the announcement, it also said that you weren't interested in running again after 2 years. And we've seen some people leave this position and go on to other offices. Is that an interest for you in your political career? What is your current goals right now with saying that you're not going to run again after 2 years?
So let's be clear. I told the governor, and she'll tell you this, that I did not want to go past 2 years. This is no insult to the politicians up here whatsoever. But I believe it is going to be so liberating as a district attorney that's going to be there for 2 years. To be able to make decisions, never, ever worried or even let it end, not that anybody has, but never, ever let it get into your head a political consideration, but instead just do what's best for this community. And I've been told a long time ago from my bride, Jackie, of 33 or 4 years, 33 years. She told me a long time ago that if I ever decide to throw my hat in for politics again, that there might be a crime at our house. So I've learned that, and behind the curtain look, if the way you asked it, I think it's very important that I focus 2 years. Every day I'm in this office on doing what's best, on fighting crime, finding justice, and helping this place become as safe as it can be. That's what I want to focus on. Yes?
Stephanie with GOV-TV. Obviously, you know a lot of the people that are here, a lot of the leaders, and Raul as well. What is on your list? Obviously, we've talked a lot about the crime, but really, what's your first order of business once you guys are getting it going? What can we expect to begin this new journey as a district attorney?
Well, thank you for the question. And the first thing, that the number one importance that I believe, the number one priority that I need to have, and I do have, is supporting this office. Supporting the men and women, the prosecutors, the lawyers, the support staff, in every way possible to get them whatever resources they may need. And Raul did an excellent job at that. But we're down some lawyers, and that's more of a reality of the current climate out there when it comes to lawyers than anything else. But we're down lawyers. We got to find more lawyers. That's got to be a priority. Recruitment, that's a big deal. You know what? When I was prosecuting, we didn't make any money, and quite frankly, compared to the private entities or private lawyers don't make any money compared to what you can do in private practice when you work here. And this is such important work. and they're in the courtroom every day busting their tail for the people of Albuquerque. I want to see every single prosecutor in this office paid more money, and I'm going to continue. You know, I've heard the state's got a little bit of extra money. I'm going to be up there at the legislature asking for as much as I can get for the prosecutors of this office. I'm going to do something that's, and I don't know that it's been done a lot. I'm sure it has been done a little, but I love the courtroom. Absolutely love the courtroom. I plan on prosecuting some cases. Second chairing, picking juries, understanding what's going on out there. I can't wait to do that. I feel like I'm pretty good at it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. That's one of the attractions of this wonderful job, is to be able to go in and work with great prosecutors on prosecuting cases. So I look forward to doing that. It's been mentioned, another priority, violent offenders, warrants. By the way, the U.S. Marshal's office, and their office is the greatest agency in the world on catching fugitives. I can't wait to work with you all. I'm sure we've got like close to 5,000, as the sheriff will tell you, warrants that were issued just this calendar year between felonies and misdemeanors. 5,000. I can't wait to go work on that, to figure out how we can come together, do some force multipliers, do some things that will actually go out and get these violent offenders, and get the people that have absolutely no respect for the rule of law or judges or court orders, and go after them and remind the judges afterwards. And by the way, this office will not criticize judges. It will not do it. They have a very tough job, every single one of them. But we will go after them, we will catch them, and then we will bring them in front of the judges, and the judges can put them in jail. And they can sit there until they understand that there is a rule of law out there, and they need to be responsive when they're ordered by a court to do something. Violent offenders. There's also a retail crime problem that's just, it's just crazy right now. I mean, I'm going up to the gas station the other day, and we got a guy with a shopping cart from the store next door with all the price tags still on it, trying to sell it to people getting gas or paying for gas. I mean, that's a real problem. Then they get arrested, or people don't want to chase them because you don't want to get into a violent situation, God forbid. But then they run out of the store, and maybe they get cited, maybe they get caught, but they're back at it because it's a misdemeanor shoplifting case or whatever, and it keeps going and going. I want to focus on seeing how we can make a difference for retail crime issues. That's kind of a smattering. There's a lot going on, and I know there can be a lot of priorities. But I can tell you that one of the most important things to me was having these folks up here, because I know that they understood this. Most of them have been doing this their entire lives and their career. And I know how passionate the mayor is about crime in Albuquerque and doing something about it. And I'm very grateful for all of them, because this is the way you get things done. I think you work together. So those are some of my priorities. Any other, yes?
Yeah, can you share a couple of thoughts on pretrial detention and
Sure.
what was, of course, a very hot issue last session, the rebuttable presumption issue? Where are you on that? Are you going to encourage prosecutors to file for more pretrial detention?
Well, I think pretrial detention obviously is based on a case-by-case basis to determine. I mean, you just can't completely do a blanket thing. But certain crimes and certain violent crimes, I think we absolutely need to be assured that we're looking at the pretrial detention. As we know, there's two critical factors. The Supreme Court has recently done 3 cases, Torres, Brown, and Hadel, I think it was, and they made some comments about what evidence was presented, what evidence wasn't presented. I want to take a look at that, but I do believe that obviously there's a number of people that should be held in pretrial detention because of the kind of crimes they committed and because of their past behavior and their records of failing to do things that the court orders and others. So that I agree with. As far as the rebuttable presumption, up in Santa Fe, I support a rebuttable presumption. I don't know that the legislature, I think there needs to be an analysis on that, how the legislature feels about it right now. I know that I will be working when it comes to the legislature closely as much as possible with this administration, with the governor's office on developing a crime package that makes sense that we can get passed too, right? We want to do something, but we need to get it passed to get something done. And so that's important. But I do have strong feelings that certain people, after what they've done out there in the community, there is no reasonable condition of release that will protect the community. And so they should be pretrial detained, absolutely. Yes?
Thank you for taking questions today. Chief Medina mentioned the phrase fresh perspective. You talked some about your priorities here, but are there other perhaps philosophical differences that you may bring to this position, or are we looking at a similar priority list?
You know, I think one of the tremendous things that the Attorney General brought to this office when he was here was the whole updating of the data collection, the crime analysis, and certainly he was fantastic at encouraging and helping prosecutors do their job. I want to see those same prosecutors, and this isn't a difference, but it's just the way you might do it. I want to be in the courtroom with them, probably more than the Attorney General may have been, but and he'll tell me probably right now the job's not going to allow you to go have all that fun, but nonetheless, it's going to be a priority of mine, because I think that's where the rubber meets the road when it comes to a prosecution's office, is in the courtroom and getting things done. So I will have a priority as far as that's concerned, which I think is a little bit different than the Attorney General had, and others previous to him may have had. But I look forward to that part of it. I don't, listen, Raul, the Attorney General, was absolutely committed to making sure he could do everything possible to put criminals behind bars. I am too. It's hard not to. When you see the morning headlines on all your news stations, you know, every single morning, every night in the Journal, but you see what's going on in this community, and it upsets you. If you've been here your whole life and you love this community like I have, and you raised a family, I'm sick and tired of it. And so, whatever that takes, we're gonna go forward with doing that. I think everybody up here feels the same way about that. So, is there a change in philosophy? No, we're going to do what we can to get it done.
We've talked some about you setting the 2-year mark. Do you have concerns that it may be hard for you to accomplish goals in that time period? I mean, one would expect you spend some time getting to know where the bathrooms are.
I just did earlier today.
Okay. Well, congratulations. There'll be more of that. I would imagine. Why take this job at all if you want to set it for 2 years?
I didn't want to sit back and watch this community. I wanted to help. I want to be a part of the solution. I can't wait. I can't wait to work with all these fine people up here. I can't wait to help in getting these SOBs that are out there committing crime, getting them arrested, locked up, and brought before a judge, and doing justice. Because this community is suffering, and enough's enough. And if I can help, I can either be someone who sits back and looks at it, or I can do it. And so this opportunity arose. I guess I would have wished for 2.5 years instead of 2. But this is what the cards that were dealt. I don't have and it's very liberating not to have to worry about politics, not to have to run a campaign starting next March or whatever that is. I don't have any of that problem. I could just focus on getting things done, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. Yes?
The chief kind of joked about it, said if anything goes wrong in the next 6 months,
it is his fault.
But seriously, continuity might be a serious concern. Crime doesn't stop here. Do you have any concerns about continuity, about the work that it's going to take to pick up where the Attorney General
So
left
are
off?
y'all trying to recruit me to run or something, or what? I mean,
I'm just wondering about the continuity. Is there
continuity? Listen, I want to talk about continuity. The Attorney General has been wonderful. He's taken my phone calls every time I've called. He used to not when I was a defense attorney, but now he is. Continuity, working together with the Attorney General has been fantastic. This office loves him. They loved working for him. And some of them are sad to see him go and me show up maybe, but I'm looking forward to working with all of them. And I think the necessary things are in place to have a smooth transition, the whole day of it that's taken place so far. I feel good. So I'm not worried about continuity. No, I'm worried about doing the job every day that these prosecutors have to do and helping them do that job. Yes, sir.
You talked a little bit, or company with you talked a little bit about the former role that you had. I was just curious what led up to you wanting to transition into this position.
I've had an extremely successful career. I have enjoyed every minute of it. I have done that. This is obviously a very new challenge, but it's something I wanted to be involved in. And I look forward to the challenge. And I'm passionate about this. I have to tell you, when I was an ADA many, many years ago, before I had any gray hair or anything else like that, before I had this belly and everything else, I I was a prosecutor, and it's my favorite job, still is today. It was my favorite job I ever had. Yeah. Can you make a lot of money doing it? No, but that's why I'm going to go up to the legislature and ask for more money for these prosecutors. But it was one of those things that every night when you went to bed, you felt like you got something accomplished because you did what was right as a prosecutor, and I can't wait to help them do their job. All right, so, yes.
One quick follow-up, kind of to one of those. Can you just give a little more specifics on how you get caught up to speed and what the transition looks like? Like, are you meeting with APD and the Attorney General now that he's also sworn in, or what are the specifics of how you get?
I will be meeting with everybody here. My first priority is to meet with as many folks in this office as I can. There's over 200 employees, and there's a lot of people that I want to make sure that I say hello to, if nothing else, and let them understand that I'm in it with them and very supportive. So I've been on this job now since last night when I was sworn in at 6 o'clock. So my focus this entire time has not only been calling these folks and asking them to come here and show how unified we are as a community in law enforcement, but also to spend the time I need to with understanding what's going on in this office, to understand why all the pens and notepads are missing in the Attorney General's office now. No, I'm just kidding. But so that's my priority, but I will be spending some time, and I've got to tell you, APD and the chief and the sheriff and the chief of state police and our federal part, they have been more than willing, and I'm so grateful to the mayor, more than willing to say, hey, let's figure out how we can help, whatever you need. And I'm very grateful to all of you for that. Yes?
Any ideas about how you plan to handle officer golf shootings?
Well, currently we're having outside attorneys review those and then make recommendations, and I don't see any immediate need to change any of that right this minute. But I will obviously review what's going on, take a look at it. But I haven't decided that there'd be. I haven't come to the conclusion that there needs to be any kind of drastic change on that specifically. I think it's helpful if the Attorney General's office takes all kinds of cases, right? But that's okay. Yes.
So of course it does sound like you will be at the Roundhouse in a couple weeks for the session. You already talked about more pay for your prosecutors. Any other priorities on the table to bring to the governor, bring to legislators? Well,
obviously pretrial detention is one that we're going to be working with and helping in any way we can with the governor's agenda on that. I want to sit down and meet the chief and talk with him. I want to meet with all these folks and tell us what their best recommendation, what gaps they see in the law right now, for example, that we need to fill, we need to fix to make all of their jobs easier, or not necessarily easier, but more effective, if you will. Yes?
You mentioned one thing that you wanted to do differently than your predecessor, Raul Torres, is getting in the courtroom. What are some things that you plan to do differently so that everybody can get these results that, you guys are standing together here, so, what are some things that you will be doing differently than Raul to try and, just get results?
I'm still trying to find out some of the things he was doing in the office at the time, but listen, the Attorney General did a hell of a job while I was here. That doesn't mean I won't bring my own style, my own thoughts to the process and see what I can help with. I want to be involved in training of prosecutors. I want to be involved in the courtroom, as I've already said. I want to be involved in law enforcement when we talk about going out and making that connection between the judiciary when it comes to violent offenders and when it comes to warrants being issued, and making that connection with law enforcement and to see how the DA's office can help coordinate all that, to be that person to help coordinate it all, so that when someone fails to appear and they've been out on a violent felony involving a firearm, for example, and we know they're supposed to be in court at 1:30 in the afternoon for a conference with the court, and we know that a few days in advance, and they don't show up. And this is easier said than done, by the way. But if they don't show up, we already know where they're going to be because we're already predicting they're not going to show up. We have somebody sitting on them waiting to pick them up when they fail to follow the court's orders by even showing up. So those kind of things I want to be helpful in any way I can. Anything else? Yes.
Do you plan to file pretrial detentions for people who are nonviolent, perhaps that you believe should be in jail, even though you may know the law says if they're not violent, they have a very hard chance of being out?
Well, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do on any particular case, because every case is unique, and that's why we have a great staff here that reviews those cases to see. But if someone is going to be a threat to the community, that we do not believe the community will be safe, whatever it may be, and that we're not going to support them being out there. We want to protect the community as much as anybody. Absolutely. Okay, well, that looks like all the questions. Any questions about the Houston Astros? No? No? Okay. I'm honored to have this job again. I'm honored for all of you that showed up today to get the word out about, I think, the unification of the law enforcement in this community. It's going to be really a big challenge. I understand that, but I'm looking forward to each and every day of it. Thank you all very much. Okay, thank you guys. Good job.